Okay, welcome back, guys. I hope the audio is better today because I have configured the audio slightly different. So I am not on a professional microphone. I'm still on using a MacBook microphone, but I have configured it so it should work a little bit better. Anyway, let's start off with the show today. So I just want to talk about Bitcoin, mostly, maybe some Ethereum as well. I'm not going to drop too much news. I'm just going to go on, from the top of my head, basically, what's happening in the market and what I feel and whatnot. So I hope you guys stick around and watch this to the end. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. And it doesn't hurt to hit the thumbs up and comment if you have any thoughts or anything, or if you agree or disagree with me. So let's go straight into the show. So as you can see, I've got you on the heat map, and we can see today pretty much everything else is in the green zone, which is good. And as you can see, we just beat the all-time high on Ethereum. So Bitcoin is next. I have mentioned that Bitcoin is next. It's just winding up. In fact, yesterday we beat the neckline, and I'll take you to that in a bit. We got DOT, and also some other stuff basically happening, so I'm not going to stay too much. And also BNB today, I think it did beat its all-time high. But let's go straight into BTC, and let's talk more about BTC and what we see in the BTC. So as you all know, this is my chart from way back, right? We always talk about this. This is my way back chart. And sorry, BTC didn't break the neckline, right? However, BTC did go slightly above this. And for me to illustrate that, let me find a cleaner chart, because I don't want to change this chart. Let's just find a cleaner chart, right? And also, I'll leave the Fibonacci here just to show you. So you see, this particular green here was where we had to beat, and we did do that, right? So we pretty much on the dot, we did that. So far, BTC looks very good. Also, you may have noticed that you can see the stochastic RSI level here. It's on the daily, but we want to look at it on the weekly, and we want to see what kind of magic is showing us, right? So on the weekly, as you can see, we briefly, right, and this is what I want to show you. Let's make it larger just to show you what I'm seeing, right? So in this particular zone, as you can see, we briefly went above, and then we pop down again. All we need is this blue line to continue upwards and move up this way, and the red line to stay below, right? So if we get this, this particular pattern, then yeah, I mean, this means that the rally will continue on BTC, and that's what I want everybody to understand, right? So, blue line pops over on the top and continues to be on the top, means we're going up. So that's all I want you to understand for now. I don't want to confuse too much there, but I've got a few more charts open as well, and I'll kind of show you what I'm seeing in those. But before we go there, let's quickly have a look at CoinMarketCap and see where we are. So currently we're basically today I've noticed that every few hours we've been hovering around these numbers. So 1.934 and 1.944. So we've been kind of bouncing around those numbers, but I think a lot of people are just doing some profit taking and whatnot. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Also today, I mentioned in one of my voice videos that I normally do sometimes now, I've mentioned how Ethereum does not have a total max supply. It's an infinite supply, right? EIP 1559 kind of slows it down, right? Or F2.0 will kind of slow it down, but ultimately still going to be infinite until they come back with a date and they say, right, that's it, fixed supply, we're not going to do any more. Currently, as you can see, circulating supply 115 billion. Right, so I want you to understand these numbers and see, how significant they are. So this kind of relates back to that 20k coin situation. We can see a 20k coin. It's not an issue. We can see probably more than that. But we need the total market cap to be from where we are today, at least 20, 30, maybe 40 times more than where we are in order for us to see those numbers. So we just want to stay realistic, right? Sorry about the noise. A colleague of mine decided to go and have a bath, but it's okay. I don't mind, as long as he's using shampoo, it's okay. So we're talking about Binance. We recently talked about how they're going to do the 15th quarterly burn, right? And so we don't know how many they're going to burn, but we'll soon find out. And the number from 170 million coins will reduce. So that's what you want to understand. Also, somebody else I mentioned today, I said focus on the top 10. So what I mean by top 10, I'll kind of illustrate here. This is a top 10, 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 this is a top 10. So if we were to count all the top 10s, right, that we have in the top 10, excluding some of these coins that are just pegged or some of these rubbish, right? Let's talk about it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, excluding this, 10. So let's just even put Filecoin as 10. So even though we know Filecoin had a massive dump yesterday, or day before yesterday actually, had a massive dump, and as you can see it's 15% down in 24 hours. So it pumped up very high and then it dumped very fast as well, but that was expected. Everybody, all of my friends who own some, I don't own any Filecoin, but anyone who owns Filecoin, I've told them, I said, guys, just start taking your initial investments out if you haven't. I think one of my friend, he hasn't taken it. However, he's still in profit, so good luck to him, right? So it's not a bad deal. But if you did take it, it just means it doesn't hurt anybody. So this is what I want everybody to understand. Also, another thing I want you to understand is how close we are to this all-time high, right? So when we're going into very close to this vicinity, right? So as you can see, we're not far, right? We're not far. We're approximately 1100 away, right? Earlier in the day, we were about 1800 away. So we're about 1100 away from going into this all-time high. And as soon as we hit it, we are going to smash through. So that's what you have to understand. Ethereum, we already made a new all-time high, and we're kind of hovering around there. I don't see any problem. I think we can go even further. Binance did its new all-time high by a few dollars. Again, we're too close to fail, so we're going to probably go and pump it up a little bit more, right? Cardano's picking up now as well, so the market is carrying it along with it, right? Polkadot, you can see we're so close to the new all-time, so the previous all-time high. We're soon going to smash it. Also, there's a lot of news coming out for Polkadot as well. Another one that just recently come out was Engine Coin, right? The game NFT coin is thinking of launching a parachain on Polkadot. So that's great news for Engine and great news for Polkadot. And these are the kind of news I want you to understand. Cardano has confirmed that it has 100 Ethereum specific companies and smart chains who want to move over to Cardano as soon as Cardano launches its smart contract, which is probably next month or the month after. So we just got to look at those dates and see, keep an eye on it on top. We know Uniswap is launching its version 3 because of all the fee issues, because they were seeing that a lot of people were not like it. It became only for the rich, right? If you had thousands to burn in fees for small transactions, then you were doing it. So obviously they need to scale up. So what they've done is they've gone into the layer 2 solution as well, and they're launching Uniswap version 3, which reduces the fees, makes it more feasible for any Tom, Dick and Harry to use it. So that's the whole idea on that one. Chainlink, constantly partnering with many companies. Now, I did say Litecoin is part of the top 10. The reason is Litecoin is also trying to innovate, and not only that, Litecoin is partnering and doing something as a cross-chain on Cardano very soon. When, we don't know, but they have announced that they are going to be working with the Cardano to launch something on Cardano, which makes Litecoin technically interoperable. So that's a good news for that. I mean, Theta, right, on a next level. Theta is a video platform that not only does videos and whatnot and try to compete, or maybe in one point will compete with, what do you call this, with YouTube and this and that. But currently, Theta is already powering some networks, powering some TV stations, powering some sports channels, right? Theta is already doing that. Google is a partner of Theta. Right. Google is invested in Theta, so is Theta gonna fail? I doubt it. Also, if you look at this Theta, right, 1 billion Theta tokens, there's a funny fact about this. These are all distributed, means that this token is in people's hand. You know, even in an exchange, it's in people's exchange wallets, right? This is distributed. That means there's no one institution holding that. And that's beautiful, right? So this particular one here is no one institution is holding it. So when you look at the max supply and the total supply, you can see that is exactly on the dot, right? So that's different. I mean, Chainlink does, a lot of their founders own a lot of coins. So they do sell every now and then for more development and more partnerships. But Theta, they don't own any. The company owns nothing. It's completely pure 100% decentralized right now. And Google's interested. So you got to understand this. Filecoin trying to build the new decentralized file sharing protocol, which is fine, right? But it does have a particular problem. So they're going to have max supply of 2 billion, as you can see. Currently, they only have this much in circulation. So you do have to understand, this is what concerns me. This is the reason why I have not put a penny into Filecoin, even though it's pumping hard, right? Up 665%. Well, I don't care even if it's 6,000%. When this number changes to this number, I'll consider it. For now, I wouldn't, right? So that's what I wanted you guys to understand. So yeah, I mean, I've gone on to the and also here you can read a lot about parachains and whatnot as well if you want to. You know, I'm not that bothered. But right, let's get you into on my chart today. So I'm just going to show you the pi cycle on my chart and just to kind of show you what's going on. So I've got two particular pi cycles here, and as you can see here, you know, you've got the indicators on and what they're showing. So just to kind of zoom into the picture, right? So sometimes you've got to just zoom in and see what the bigger picture is, right? So what I want to do is just zoom into this and see what's going on. So as you can see, it does look like it is going to go and touch, right? But even then, as I've mentioned before, this is the first time in actual history that it is actually this close, right? So this is something we have to also take into account and say, right, is it going to be actually doing it, right? If you look at this carefully on any other chart, you'll notice it doesn't have the full data, right? Because it didn't exist. And this is what I want to show you. So I know it can be misleading. So that's what I want to understand. Also, look at this particular long trend line. You can see it's on a weekly long trend line. So far, we're holding it. We just kind of peaked here, but we touched it and we respected it and we're moving back up. Those are the fundamentals I want you to understand. So you can see we're looking at the longer time frame trend line. And as you see, we have not broken that trend line. So these are some of the big long pictures I want you guys to understand. Sometimes you just got to zoom out and just see the overall market structure and the market, what the market's doing. Also, I've got here for you the NVT as well. As you can see, the NVT is red. Whenever the NVT is red, we are actually positive, right? When it becomes so this is on a weekly. If it becomes white, this is when you're going to be worrying a little bit, right? And I've also put the Bitcoin logarithmic chart here just to kind of show you a perfect zone where you should be worried. So this is a zone where you should be buying, right? Which is perfect. So we know as soon as we enter these zones, maybe in the future or in another bull cycle. So we're talking about the future here. These are the times when you can buy, you know, blindly, and you're always going to make money. However, these are the times when you need to start scaling out or be a bit worried. So this is why I've left this there. So this is kind of easier way to understand that, okay, as soon as we enter these particular locations, right? So if we zoom in a little bit, as soon as we enter this red zone, start worrying. Obviously, we're going to top out on the top line, but you know, this is when you start worrying. So that's what I want you to understand. And also remember, this line and these prices, they all change constantly, right? So it could be less, it could be more, totally depends on what kind of a curve we have. But remember, the price doesn't exist. The only price that exists is the one that you've got on today's candle, and everything else is just a random algorithmic prediction that we can have, right? So we can turn around and be all bullish and say, oh my god, it's flashing 200k. Fact is, look, 200k, this could be in, you know, 2025. We don't know yet, right? That date doesn't exist. The data doesn't exist. And that's what I want you to understand. So please, kind of sometimes when you see things, when you hear things, all these hypes and everything, take it with a pinch of salt. That's all I'm asking. Take it with a pinch of salt, right? So we're on Ethereum right now, and let's have a look at Ethereum. And as you can see, I did talk about the W, and as you can see, we did break the neckline that we were talking about. So the W was flashing to us for some days, and we broke this neckline and we went above, and this is where we are right now. So as you can see, this point is higher than this point, and also we just smashed right through. As soon as we did that, as you can see, when we broke the previous resistance line, we jumped up and we went up, you know, and now we're hovering around that. And as you can see, let me zoom in for you what the story is. So remember, always zoom in a little bit just to understand the story. So let's go into a weekly just to kind of get a bigger, larger picture to see what's going on. So things rapidly change. When things like this happen, things rapidly change for us, right? So this is where the bigger picture is, right? So let me take this out and show you what's happened here. So if you look carefully, this is where we had our all-time high. We got the rejection, and then we climbed up, and we had a few more weeks of messing around. And then this week, all right, and we're not even at the end of it. We still have 2 days left. 2 days left is already sitting higher than this particular one, which is signified by this purple line. So we've definitely gone above. Now we have the perfect opportunity to probably go here and move up. So if we can, this week here, if we can by Sunday go up to this level and then probably come back down here and then try the rest of the levels and carry on like this for about another week, I would say it doesn't have to be a week, it can be a day, but the point is it's more healthy if we do it over another week or two and then go to this level. Very healthy for everybody. So at the present moment, it does look like we are going to go there at some point. As I said, I'm not going to talk too much. I just want to show you my oldest chart as well. So I just showed you the logarithmic on a new chart, but just to kind of show you guys my predictions, my dates, everything is still exactly the same. And this chart has not changed, and still is predicting the future low range. So the lowest we can possibly go is we're looking at the 39 all the way to 65. That would be the range that we could go to the lowest point. And also on this particular chart, it's a little bit more moderate and it's a little bit more accurate. Sadly, it doesn't update as soon. So the BLX Brave New Coin doesn't update as fast as the other one, but it does tell us that we're looking at currently, if we look at it, say for example, we're in the weekly. If we go next week, it's saying, well, next week the highest we could possibly look at is 103. But then remember, this is just the highest point. It's not showing the exact accurate data. So that's what I want you to understand. Also, if I do take another chart, let's just find another random empty chart. Where is my stock to flow then? So again, on this one, it's not showing up. Half of these charts, it just won't show up. But just to show you a very kind of simple way of understanding how the market works, right? So this is on a very long time. Let me see if it works on the weekly, because it will look better. It does. Perfect. Okay, so we can come to the weekly. We can see this data, which is really good. Also, I'll change this color because I know a lot of people may be a little bit confused on what this is. Right, let me change the color to white so you understand easier. Right, so this is much more easier for you to understand. Right, how do we know when we have a market, when we are going to top out and all of that? Right, how do we understand those kind of things? So this is what I want you to understand here. All you got to do is take a line, you put it around here, number one, and then you take another line and you put it around here. So what we're looking at is the top and the bottom of this particular channel, and as you can see, it clearly marks out. So let me just bring it here. It clearly marks out whether the future bottom of the market would be, and where the future bottom, and this is the range basically. It kind of just shows you all of that. So I hope you understand this. And also on the stock to flow, I can only show it to you on a daily. As you can see, we are kind of following the pathway of where it should be, right? So you can see there's a lot of traffic going on. There's a lot of data here, by the way. So sometimes it's just easy just to kind of switch some off, right, and just have a look at the chart and see what it's doing. So as you can see, this is in 2017. We peaked above the stock to flow, but the stock to flow ultimately, if you look carefully, the price is keeping up with the stock to flow, right? So even today, if you look carefully, what the stock to flow is telling us where we should be is, the top of the market could be anywhere between 82. So even today is saying that we could have an 82, right? Or today is here. Is it second, yeah. So it's saying we could have a 82, right? And the lowest we should have is around 54. So our range is quite good. So if you put any other number in between, we are fairly in the the average. So we'll just leave it then. Also, if I just wanted to just kind of make it a little bit more interesting for everybody who's watching, if I put this here, you can see the Fibonacci lines as well, and what kind of a Fibonacci level we're on. So let me just adjust it just to show you. So if I adjust it, put it on the line there, so where we are right now. And also the Fibonacci, you can see that, where was I? This one here. Anyway, the point is we're looking at, and this one's flashing 163, right? But yeah, these numbers are crazy. But as you can see, the Fibonacci, the stock to flow model is pointing 82, but the Fibonacci is pointing 97. So sometimes this is the possibility. But where would everybody be looking at? So if I'm seeing it, I'm sure everybody's seeing this number, and if everybody's seeing this number, everybody's going to have a sell order around here somewhere just to get rid of it. So we are going to see a massive dump around these figures. So every time we touch these Fibonacci levels, we do get a massive rejection, and it's not a rejection, it's just basically people selling off. That's what I like to say, rather than being all negative about it. Oh, the market's dumping and going bloody, because the thing is when the pop price goes up, everybody psychologically immediately just jumps onto the fact that market's pumping, and it's like a hype boat, right? So everyone's jumping onto the hype boat, or hype train, whatever you call it. no point. But guys, just be calm, patient, just observe the market, right? And then when the market dumps, everyone's all fearful, oh my god, and you see the whole social media exploding, oh, the market's dumped, this and that, then you end up FOMOing even more. But if you're calm, you're patient, you have a plan, you know what you're doing, then you're fine, right? You know, so if I was to basically, you know, and I don't sell any, but if I was to sell any, I would have a sell order around here somewhere just before we hit that line, because you know, yes, at that line we can explode above and go even further, maybe, but as long as I've taken my initial out, I don't really care. That's the whole thing. I don't really care. My profits can climb as much as it likes. It can go to 1 million. I've just made another 1 million from nothing. So that's the attitude you should be having, not the attitude that, oh, I'm going to make more and this and that, because it doesn't work. Anyway, I'm not going to make this video any longer. There will be a few cuts here and there. Okay, this is a little bit of a bonus that I'm going to throw in here. So I've just recorded this while I was editing because I remembered something and I thought, damn, I should have messaged it. So today I had a conversation with someone on one of the WhatsApp group. And he said something. He said, so I'm not going to name anybody here. He said, was listening to another crypto video and he mentioned the previous 2 super cycle ended after 10 months, right? So that's what he says. He ended after 10 months. So he took the previous all-time high points and counted months from that point, right? So we have a bit of a problem here because I'm not sure what he's talking about. Is he talking about Bitcoin? Is he talking about some other shitcoin, or is he talking about the whole entire bull run itself for the crypto industry, or maybe some stock or something? So I wanted to clear this confusion, right? So he said, you know, he counted 2 super cycles. Now, one of the biggest problem, and I did reply back to him, I said, bro, the biggest problem you got is a super cycle is a 10-year cycle, right? So a 10-year cycle doesn't exist, because as you can see, the first time the charts and the cycle started, right, was around 2011. So now we are in a super cycle 10 years later, right? That's what a super cycle is, number one. Number two, he's mentioned 3 times, previous 2 times. Well, again, in Bitcoin, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Theoretically you can even count this 5, but I'll just say 4 just for the sake of it. And if I skip this and I say, okay, 3 times, so the previous 3 times that we've had, or the 3 times of the 4-year cycles that we've had in the Bitcoin, right, it's still not 2 times, so I still don't understand that. Then the other thing he said about ended after 10 months. So this is what I want to understand, like 10 months. Okay, let's count them. I think this is what he's counting, right? So previous 2 times he said, right? So let's start off here. Let's find the first candle from here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this one was 24 technically. So yeah, I'm a bit confused here. We'll minus some. Actually, we'll minus some. So we've got this coming down. Forget that. Let's find the one that peaked and would have counted. So this one, right? Let's count this one and count from here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I still can't find the 10. Okay, let's count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we're on 10, right? And so at least this makes sense, right? So we're on 10. This candle was the one that beat this candle, right? So we're on 10, which is fine. So we've got 10 candles there. Okay, so that's that one. Or are we counting the other way? If we're counting this way, what is he saying? He's saying previous to ended after 10 months. Okay, so ended after 10 months. So we've got 10 months here, so that's 1. Okay, let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Not bad. So this does make sense. So if we count back down 10, so what he's talking about is when we beat the previous all-time high. But that's not where the bull run starts. The bull run starts here. This bull run started here. So this is what you have to understand. Bull runs, if he's talking about bull runs and he's talking about the 4-year cycle, then it started here. It did not start here. just because we beat the previous all-time high. Bull run doesn't start from the previous all-time high. So if that was the case, then bull run, this particular bull run, then we're too early, because the previous all-time high was 20. As you've counted, if you do, then previous candle was 20. So that means this particular bull run, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 months. So we still got 6 months left. Makes perfect sense. I mean, I'll happily take that 6 months. But then what we do know is the bull run did not start there. The bull run started on this particular candle. We actually confirmed it on this particular candle. Because you can see, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Bull run doesn't start at the top of the market. It starts from the bottom of the market. That's what you have to understand. Right? So, I mean, counting it and connecting some dots is great, right? But it just doesn't make any sense, because the bull run is here. This is the bull run candle. This is the bull run candle. This is the bull run. It's when the trend reverses. And the reversal, what you have to understand is, so you go down, 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 go to the lowest point. And then what you do, the first time you print candles that are higher than the previous low candle is theoretically when the bull cycle starts, right? And it doesn't matter where it is. Even in 2019, you can see we come down, 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 and then we reverse it, and then we go up for 2 months, and that was it. So this is on a monthly candle, as you can see, right? So the same stuff here, we come down, 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 and then we reverse it here, right? The moment we reverse it here, we go up. And if you count from where we reverse, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 months. Okay, so please do understand that there are ups and downs, weekly, monthly, daily. But if you're going to go into a larger time scale, which I do respect, right? I do like looking at the bigger picture. On the bigger picture, unfortunately, the person either got made a misunderstanding, said the super cycle instead of saying a 4-yearly cycle. But even within a 4-yearly cycle, it's not the end, right? So there are loads of other fundamentals you have to understand. Just by counting some candles down to where the previous high was doesn't make that the start of the bull run, right? The bull run is when the trend is reversed. That's what you have to understand. That's where the bull run is. So I hope I cleared that part. I hope you understand a little bit more. I have no disrespect to any YouTubers or any podcasts or anything like that. You do you, I do me. I'm only going to speak my mind. And a lot of people have noticed, and I don't mean to be rude, it's just how I am. You know, I'm a bit like Marmite. You either like me or you hate me. You know, that's one of those kind of things. But I'm just going to be honest and straight up front. So I'll tell you what I see, and you tell me, because I was confused. I was like, cycle, super cycle? It doesn't make any sense, right? How could we possibly have a super cycle if we've just entered our first one? So this makes more sense. But then again, it doesn't make any sense, because the person's talking about the 2 other times, but we haven't had 2 other times. We've had 3 other times, right? And technically we've had another 2 other times. So we've got 5 other times. So it just kind of messes everything up. But I hope you understand a little bit more. You are a little bit more knowledgeable from what you're seeing here. And, you know, just by counting candles down, you can't really predict what's going to happen. You know, this particular run did not copy this run. This particular run did not copy this run. And this particular run is copying this run. Right, that's what we all think. It's actually copying this particular cycle. So this looks more similar to this cycle, right? So you have to understand that yes, they can rhyme, but it doesn't mean they're going to do the exact same thing. So it's not always going to be 10 month, 10 month, 10 month. So please do understand this, and I hope I didn't offend anybody. And we can continue the video now. So let's go back into the video and continue. Also, I wanted to drop something else as well. So I'm considering making a cryptocurrency for the community, basically, and I'm working on it. So if anybody here, you know, if you've got a background in cryptocurrency or anything like that, please do give me a shout. My email's in the description, so let me know, and maybe we can work on it together. And I'll tell you what the specification should be and what I want it to do, and then we can move forward from there. So it'll be quite interesting, because I've done 2 projects before, but I just want to do one with the community and do a community more like a fan token or fan coin or something like this. So there will be no use case for this, you know, apart from it being a coin which just basically grows in value, and everybody benefits from it. That's the idea. Anybody holding it should always make money, it should be worth more over time than not, right? So it should be a pure pump coin, not a pump and dump coin. That's the idea. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to probably talk more on it. If I find somebody who can develop it and everything, you know, we're going to move forward. It's definitely something I want to do, just for the sake of it. I don't see why not, right? And it should be distributed among the community, and then we see where we go from this. So we'll treat it more like an experiment, nothing else, just an experiment. It will be a lovely experiment. You know, no financial advice, no financial anything. So other than that, I hope to see you on another one. Like, share, subscribe, and adios.